Number 1. Megalodon. Megalodon, the largest predatory shark to ever exist, ruling the oceans from 23 million years ago until around 3.6 million years ago. If you think great white sharks are scary, wait until you hear this. A great white grows to about 20 feet long. Megalodon reached up to 65 feet, longer than a school bus. Its bite force was over 40,000 pounds, strong enough to crush a whale's entire ribcage in a single bite. Scientists have found fossilized whale bones with massive bite marks that perfectly match megalodon teeth. But here's what makes it truly terrifying. Modern sharks go for soft flesh. Megalodon went straight for the bone. It didn't just kill, it completely destroyed its prey, crushing spines and shattering skulls. One fossilized whale backbone shows teeth marks 4 inches deep into solid bone. A single adult megalodon needed over 2,500 pounds of food every day just to survive. Think about that scale of destruction. So what killed this perfect killing machine? Around 3.6 million years ago, ocean temperatures dropped. Whales migrated to colder polar waters where Megalodon couldn't follow. Without its main food source, even the greatest predator couldn't survive. Megalodon's teeth, some over 7 inches long, still wash up on beaches today. But here's the question that should keep you awake at night. What if something even bigger is swimming in the 95% of the ocean we haven't explored? And speaking of apex predators that fought with Megalodon. Number 2. Leviathan melville. Leviathan melville. Picture this. A whale with killer orca instincts, sperm whale size and massive teeth designed to rip apart other whales. Scientists named it after the biblical sea monster Leviathan. That tells you everything. This nightmare swam the oceans about 12 to 13 million years ago, stretching up to 57 feet long. Modern sperm whales eat squid with tiny teeth. Leviathan had giant interlocking teeth in both jaws, over 14 inches long, some of the largest teeth ever discovered. What did it hunt? Other whales, seals, giant fish, anything it wanted. But here's the insane part. Leviathan lived at the exact same time as Megalodon, 2 apex predators, both massive, competing for the same prey. Scientists have found whale fossils with bite marks from both species on the same bone. They were literally fighting over dinner. Imagine witnessing that battle, a 65-foot shark versus a 57-foot toothed whale. Absolutely apocalyptic. Leviathan's skull was built like a battering ram. It would charge at full speed, crash into prey, then rip away huge chunks of flesh with those saw-like teeth. The attacks were violent and merciless. Around 8 million years ago, Leviathan vanished from the fossil record, but for millions of years, it was the ocean's most terrifying mammal. If you're enjoying this deep dive into ocean nightmares, hit that subscribe button, because what's coming next gets even stranger. Number 3. Basilosaurus. Basilosaurus. The name means king lizard, but here's the twist. This wasn't a lizard. It was an ancient whale that looked like a sea serpent. From 40 to 34 million years ago, this bizarre predator swam with a body up to 60 feet long. Unlike modern whales, Basilosaurus had a long, snake-like body. But here's where it gets weird. It still had tiny back legs attached to its spine. Actual legs. Useless limbs left over from when its ancestors walked on land millions of years earlier. These legs couldn't support weight or help it swim. They just existed. Imagine seeing a 60-foot serpent whale with tiny legs swimming toward you. Those decorative legs didn't slow it down. Basilosaurus was vicious with powerful jaws and teeth designed for tearing flesh. Fossil evidence shows it hunted smaller whales and large fish. Bite marks on prehistoric whale bones match Basilosaurus teeth perfectly. But here's the disturbing part. Some fossils show Basilosaurus eating other Basilosaurus. It was a cannibal. When food was scarce, these creatures attacked and devoured their own kind. With its serpentine body and deadly jaws, Basilosaurus looked more like mythology than reality. It dominated seas for about 6 million years before extinction around 34 million years ago. Today's gentle whales, blue whales, humpbacks, are distant relative, but Basilosaurus was no gentle giant. It was a serpentine killing machine. Comment below, which extinct creature would you least want to encounter? Now, speaking of unusual weapons. Number 4. Dunkleosteus. Dunkleosteus. Around 358 million years ago, before sharks dominated, this armored fish was the apex predator. At 33 feet long and over 4 tons, it was basically a swimming tank with a guillotine mouth. Here's what makes it absolutely terrifying. It didn't have teeth. Instead, it had razor-sharp bone plates forming a self-sharpening jaw system. Every time it closed its mouth, the plates slid against each other like scissors, staying permanently sharp, forever. The bite force, 8,000 pounds per square inch, strong enough to slice a great white shark in half. Dunkleosteus could open its mouth in 1/50th of a second, creating powerful suction that yanked prey directly into those bone guillotines. Fish, sharks, even other Dunkleosteus, nothing was safe. Prey would be cut in half before realizing they'd been attacked. No escape, just instant death. Here's a disturbing detail. Scientists have found Dunkleosteus fossils with regurgitated fish remains nearby. This creature would gorge itself, vomit, then continue hunting immediately. An eating machine that never stopped. Dunkleosteus ruled for millions of years during the late Devonian period. When it finally went extinct around 358 million years ago, sharks took over as dominant predators. But for its time, nothing was more feared than the armored fish with self-sharpening bone blades. If you think that's terrifying, wait until you hear about something that's still alive today. Number 5. Giant squid. Giant squid. Status: still alive. Right now, giant squid swim in the deep ocean where sunlight never reaches. These creatures grow up to 43 feet long with the largest eyes in the animal kingdom, eyes the size of dinner plates. For centuries, sailors told stories about massive sea monsters with tentacles dragging ships underwater. Scientists dismissed these as myths. Then in 2004, researchers captured the first photographs of a living giant squid in its natural habitat. The stories were true. Giant squid tentacles are lined with hundreds of powerful suction cups, each ringed with sharp, serrated edges like teeth. Once those tentacles grab you, you're not escaping. Sperm whales regularly surface covered in circular scars, battle wounds from fighting giant squids thousands of feet below. These creatures hunt in complete darkness, using those massive eyes to detect the faintest bioluminescent glow. They're ambush predators striking from below with terrifying speed. One moment, black water. Next moment, tentacles exploding from darkness. Here's what's truly terrifying: we know almost nothing about them. How long do they live? How do they reproduce? How many exist? They live so deep, between 1,000 and 3,000 feet, that humans rarely see them alive. The giant squid isn't extinct. It's not ancient history. It's swimming right now, hunting in darkness. Make sure you're subscribed, because there's something even worse than a giant squid. Number 6. Colossal squid. Colossal squid. If giant squids are terrifying, colossal squids are nightmare fuel. Status: still alive right now in Earth's coldest, darkest waters. While giant squids are longer, colossal squids are heavier, stronger, more muscular, and more aggressive. They weigh over 1,000 pounds and live in frigid Antarctic waters. And here's the kicker: they have weapons giant squids don't. Instead of just suction cups, colossal squids have rotating hooks on their tentacles. Actual swiveling hooks that spin and tear flesh like drill bits. Imagine being grabbed by tentacles with hooks that rotate and rip chunks out of you. Scientists didn't know these existed until 1925, when fishermen found tentacles in a sperm whale's stomach. We've only captured a handful of specimens, all dead or dying. In 2007, fishermen caught one weighing over 1,000 pounds. Its eyes were 11 inches across, the largest eyes ever recorded. Eyes that size detect light in complete blackness. This thing hunts where humans would be blind. Some researchers believe colossal squids use bioluminescence to hunt, creating light flashes to attract prey in pitch-black depths. But we don't know for sure. They live below 6,000 feet in waters so cold and under pressure so extreme that studying them alive is nearly impossible. The colossal squid is officially the strongest invertebrate predator on Earth. No skeleton, just pure muscle and hooks. And it's down there right now. Which modern sea creature terrifies you most? Comment below. Speaking of bizarre hunting methods, number 7. Helicoprion. Helicoprion. Around 290 million years ago, something truly bizarre swam prehistoric ocean. This shark-like creature measured about 20 feet long with the strangest weapon in natural history, a spiral saw blade jaw inside its mouth. For over a century, scientists were baffled. They kept finding spiral fossils but couldn't figure out what they were. Some thought they were defensive structures. Others thought they were on the tail. complete mystery. Then in 2013, CT scans revealed the truth, and it was more horrifying than imagined. The spiral was inside Helicoprian's lower jaw, functioning like a rotating slicer. When it closed its mouth, the spiral rolled backward, pulling prey inward while cutting it to pieces. A conveyor belt of death. The spiral contained up to 180 teeth arranged perfectly. Here's the creepy part. As Helicoprian grew, it didn't shed teeth like modern sharks. New teeth grew at the front, old teeth pushed toward the center. The structure got bigger throughout its entire life. Helicoprian specialized in hunting soft-bodied prey like ancient squids. Once caught in that spiral jaw, there was no escape. Prey would be pulled deeper, sliced continuously by row after row of sharp teeth. Imagine being grabbed by something with a spinning blade inside its mouth that pulls you in while cutting you to pieces. Peak nightmare fuel. Helicoprian went extinct around 250 million years ago. But for 40 million years, it was the ocean's most creative killer. Hit that like button if these ocean nightmares are blowing your mind. Now, while Helicoprian was strange, this next creature was terrifyingly familiar. Number 8. Mosasaurus. Mosasaurus. During the late Cretaceous, from 70 to 66 million years ago, this marine reptile was the ocean's apex predator. It grew up to 56 feet long, weighed over 15 tons, and could eat a great white shark as an appetizer. This wasn't a dinosaur. It was a giant marine lizard related to modern monitor lizards and Komodo dragon. Imagine a Komodo the size of a city bus with flippers and jaws powerful enough to crush bone. Here's what made Mosasaurus dominant: double-hinged jaws. Like modern snakes, it could unhinge its jaws and open incredibly wide, swallowing prey whole. Sharks, giant fish, sea turtles, even other mosasaurs, everything was on the menu. Yes, Mosasaurus was a cannibal. Fossils show stomach contents containing smaller mosasaur bone. When food was scarce or territorial disputes happened, they ate each other without hesitation. Mosasaurus was also incredibly fast and intelligent for a reptile. Streamlined body, powerful flippers, excellent vision, keen smell, and a relatively big brain. It was highly adaptable too. Fossils found on every continent mean it lived in oceans worldwide. There was nowhere in prehistoric seas where you were safe. Mosasaurus went extinct 66 million years ago from the same asteroid that killed dinosaurs. Massive tsunamis devastated oceans. Ecosystems collapsed. Even mighty Mosasaurus couldn't survive, but for millions of years, it was the most feared ocean predator. A reptilian killing machine with insatiable appetite. Speaking of predators after mass extinction. Number 9. Thalatorchan saurophagus. Thalatorchan saurophagus. The name means lizard-eating ruler of the sea, and that's exactly what it was. This ichthyosaur lived around 244 million years ago, appearing almost immediately after Earth's worst mass extinction event. The Permian-Triassic extinction wiped out 96% of all marine species. Oceans were essentially dead. Yet somehow, within just 8 million years, Thalatorchan emerged as an apex predator measuring 28 feet long with massive jaws and blade-like teeth designed for hunting other large marine reptiles. Think about that. Oceans devastated, most life gone, food scarce. And evolution still produced a massive predator that hunted other predators. Nature looked at extinction and said, "Challenge accepted." Thalatorchan's teeth were unlike anything before. Large, sharp, blade-like with cutting edges designed to slice through flesh and bone. This wasn't a fish eater. This was a reptile-eater hunting other large marine reptiles in a recovering ecosystem. Scientists were shocked discovering Thalatorchan fossils in Nevada in 2013. It proved apex predators can evolve far more quickly after extinctions than anyone thought. Within just a few million years, oceans went from dead zones to hosting massive predators. Thalatorchan dominated early Triassic seas, perfectly designed for killing in harsh environments where competition was brutal and food limited. It eventually went extinct as more advanced reptiles evolved, but its legacy remained. Life doesn't just survive after mass extinctions. It adapts and creates new monsters remarkably quickly. Subscribe if you want more incredible evolutionary stories. Now let's go even further back. Number 10. Anomalocaris. Anomalocaris. Around 500 million years ago during the Cambrian period, this creature was one of Earth's very first apex predators. At 3 feet long, it doesn't sound impressive, but here's the context. Most ocean life then was soft, small, and defenseless. Anomalocaris was a giant. Picture this: compound eyes the size of dragonflies, 2 grasping arms covered in spikes, and a circular mouth lined with sharp plates arranged like a pineapple ring from hell. This looked like an alien. When scientists first found fossils, they were so confused they thought different parts belonged to different animals. The grasping arms were classified as separate creatures, the circular mouth as a jellyfish, the body as a sponge. It took decades to realize all these belonged to one predator, Anomalocaris, meaning abnormal shrimp. At a time when most creatures were trilobites and simple worms, Anomalocaris was a hyper-advanced killing machine. Those compound eyes, some of the first complex eyes to evolve, gave incredible vision. Those grasping arms could snatch victims and bring them to that nightmarish circular mouth. Scientists have found trilobite fossils with bite marks perfectly matching Anomalocaris's mouth. Some show healing signs, meaning they survived attacks but were left with permanent scars. Anomalocaris went extinct around 485 million years ago as more advanced predators evolved, but its importance can't be overstated. This was evolution's first attempt at an apex predator, the original ocean nightmare, the blueprint for everything that came after. Which ancient predator surprised you most? Drop a comment. And speaking of living fossils, number 11, frilled shark. Frilled shark, status, still alive. Right now, this deep-sea shark is essentially a living fossil looking almost identical to fossils from 80 million years ago. Evolution looked at the frilled shark and said, perfect, don't change a thing. This creature lives between 390 and 4,200 feet below the surface where sunlight never reaches. It grows up to 6-5 feet long with an eel-like body and the most terrifying mouth you can imagine. 300 needle-like teeth arranged in 25 rows. Here's what makes it nightmare fuel. It attacks like a snake. The frilled shark lunges forward, opens its jaws incredibly wide, and swallows prey nearly half its body length whole. Those 300 teeth point backward, meaning once something enters that mouth, it's not coming out. It hunts in complete darkness, using electroreception to detect prey. It can sense the electrical impulses from your heartbeat. You wouldn't even see it coming, just suddenly feel jaws clamping around you in pitch-black water. The frilled shark has the longest gestation period of any vertebrate, up to 3-5 years. Think about that. It takes longer to produce a baby frilled shark than it takes humans to get a college degree. We rarely see them because they live so deep. When they do surface, they're usually sick or dying. Most of what we know comes from dead specimens caught accidentally in fishing nets. The frilled shark is a prehistoric predator that never went extinct. It's been hunting in the deep ocean for 80 million years, unchanged, perfect. Make sure you're subscribed. We've got one more creature that'll blow your mind. Number 12, giant isopod. Giant isopod, status, still alive. These deep-sea crustaceans are related to pill bugs, those little bugs that roll into balls in your garden. Except giant isopods grow up to 20 inches long and can weigh over 3 pounds. They're pill bugs on steroids. They live between 550 and 7,000 feet below the surface where food is incredibly scarce. To survive, they've developed an insane ability. They can go years without eating. Years. One captive giant isopod in Japan didn't eat for 5 years and 3 months before dying. When food does appear, usually a dead whale or large fish sinking from above, giant isopods swarm it like underwater vultures. They have powerful mandibles that can tear through tough skin and muscle. They'll completely hollow out a whale carcass from the inside. Their eyes are compound like insects, adapted to detect the faintest light in near-total darkness. They have 7 pairs of legs and can swim, walk on the ocean floor, or float upside down to conserve energy. Here's what's creepy. They look exactly like something that should be extinct but isn't. They're living proof that the deep sea turns even the most harmless creatures into monsters. Take a tiny pill bug, subject it to extreme pressure, freezing temperatures, and complete darkness for millions of years, and you get a 20-inch armored creature that eats whale carcasses. Giant isopods remind us that the deep ocean is essentially an alien world. The pressure, darkness, and scarcity create creatures that seem impossible. They're down there right now, waiting in the darkness for the next meal to sink from above. And they can wait for years.